Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, I'm going to talk about why we should all be generous in a world where selfishness is the norm, right? And sometimes it's very hard for me to practice what I preach, but I know that it will pay off in the end. So here's the thing. Every time I step outside my house, I know like 8 times out of 10, I'm not saying 9 times, but 8 times out of 10, I'm just going to deal with a selfish person, like a person who doesn't care, a person who's kind of reckless, and isn't going to take my feelings and needs into consideration. Because had it happen to me many, many times, right? And throughout my years of life, I've come to the unfortunate conclusion that most people would rather steal $1 from you than make a million with you. In fact, there's a saying, like, "Oh, use the money to love the people." And I truly believe that because I feel like I've been blessed to practice that philosophy. But many other people practice use the people and love the money, right? And it should be the opposite way. Now, a long time ago, I'm going to show you how I kind of applied this in my head. Once upon a time, I was really broke, right? So for 3 years, I was only making $20,000 a year, and I was really broke and frustrated. But at the same time, I was like desperate for solutions, and that's how I came across velocity banking, real estate investing, and I put a lot of time and effort into learning the things that I at that time I didn't feel like it was applicable to me. Like velocity banking is really not applicable to you when you're poor. It's actually applicable to you when you have some money and you got some debts and you need to pay off your debts quickly, right? So I learned it, and even though I was poor, eventually I got to an income level was like $50,000 a year, right? So I still couldn't use it, especially since I didn't have a home then, right? I could kind of use it, but not really. But here's how I felt, right? I learned how to save hundreds of thousands of dollars in a mortgage. And at the time, this was like 5, 6 years ago. At the time when I learned it, I figured I can give 5 people that I know $100 gift cards. 5 people that have $100 gift cards because I learned that once I buy a home, I can learn how to save hundreds of thousands of dollars of interest and not pay the bank. I learned that, right? And so what happened is that once I knew that, what's a couple $100 to a bunch of people that I know that I hope to learn and grow together with? It's nothing. But I learned to be disappointed because every single person that I gave $100 to in the form of a gift card on Christmas never reciprocated any sort of similar type of exchange for me or did anything for me at that level. In fact, a lot of people where I did that for, they kind of blew me off and ignored me and never reached out to me ever. So think about that, right? And that's why I say, like, we live in this selfish world where people value money and they think the way that you get more money is to kind of ignore the people around them. I know that's insane, but that's how a lot of people treat each other. Think about like your typical work environment where let's say your typical worker is asking for a manager for help and the manager just ignores them, right? Has that ever happened to you where you're just like, oh my goodness, I need help with this, and then it's like, okay, I'll listen to your concerns, and then they do nothing. Happens everywhere, right? But that happens with even your personal interactions where you might be generous and give, let's say, 5 people $100 gift cards, and they like that they give the money, but they see no value in maintaining a relationship, like a friendship or just any sort of relationship. It could be a casual thing with you because they think that they're valuing the money more than they value you, right? It happens to a lot of people. Again, there's that saying that you have to use the money to love the people, but most people use the people to love the money, and we cannot do that, right? But even though people are selfish, right? Even so, I really do believe we should be generous to others because we want to live in a world of abundance and we want to live in a world of prosperity where we're actually taking care of the other people Now it's going to be hard because people are actually taught a poverty mindset, right? How many people do you know who say they're too busy for you because of work and school, right? And the sad part is most people don't understand that the reason why they get paid is because on the other end of a transaction, there's an actual human being, there's an actual person willing to pay their own money for whatever good or service you're providing in the marketplace. But for some reason, people just do not make that connection, right? They don't. And so even though a lot of people that I've helped out, I've loaned money, I give them, $100 for Christmas on a gift card, and they're like, that's a lot of money because they'll only give like 10 or 10, $20 gift cards to their friends. I know that generosity will not be directly paid back by the people who received it, but it will eventually be indirectly paid back to me, right? And the reason I say that is because at that time I made $50,000 a year. Next year, I doubled the amount of money that I made, right? And then, the next year, I was able to kind of expand my wealth by buying real estate, paying for my mortgage early. I finally bought a home and I paid off 25% of the mortgage under a year. And I felt really blessed with all the things that I learned. And I wanted to just kind of share a little sliver. Because think about it. If I saved over $100,000 of mortgage learning Velocity Banking, $100 to someone that I want to build a relationship with in the form of a gift card at Christmas is absolutely not a big deal to me. But unfortunately for the people who received it, they valued the money more than they valued building the relationship. And for me, again, I was blessed indirectly because I grew my wealth and income. Even though the people who received my gifts did not see the value of building a relationship, right? So that's why I say, even though most people are selfish, with whatever you learn, with the knowledge that you've expanded, we still have to be generous to others. And this is still very hard for me to practice because of course I'm a little bitter, right? I'm a little bitter that we didn't all learn to grow together. And I truly believe that if we had, that 99% of the problems that we experience in society would go away like in a day. But most people want to attach themselves to the selfish mentality that is kind of everywhere in society nowadays. Okay, so hopefully this makes sense. That yes, we be generous to others. The people who receive our generosity probably won't be grateful, but eventually we will be paid a return. Not directly; it's going to be kind of random, but we might double our income next year. And it will seem like it had nothing to do with what we did, but it totally had everything to do with what we did, right? All right, so if you're interested in joining our group, so final words before I end the video, go ahead and click the Google form link below, right? Put in your information, submit it, and then we'll get on a one-on-one Zoom call. What are your thoughts about this, if you have any? Do you resonate with what I said? Because sometimes I have to brainwash myself to think this way, because when I step outside of my home, I kind of revert back to the way that I used to think, and I have to kind of work hard. It's kind of like almost doing a diet where you have to eat healthy every single day. Can't ever do fast food, not even once, to kind of go where I want to go, if that makes sense. Okay, well, have a great day, everybody, and hope this made sense, and we'll speak next time.